And we are recording by all. Yes, we are. Okay, so it's a welcome to everybody out there. Thank you to everybody that has apologized for not being able to be and participate in this entire thing. It's starting to gain momentum. We knew that it was going to take a while for us to actually get up and running so people become familiar with the webinar and or Skype and or Zoom kind of arrangements. And it's starting to work quite nicely. So I mentioned that I like to draw a parallel between my mainstream businesses and our Amway business. And I'm learning to use all these platforms for my mainstream business. I had a webinar the other day, and I think we had 23 people on the webinar, which is quite nice. As a result of that, I think we had 8 people who responded positively in terms of the business message. And of that, I believe that we've signed or done business with 2 of them already. And if you think in terms of the Amway business, it's exactly what we can do. You could be sitting at home all bundled up and you can go through the process and you can use this mechanism and you can have meetings from your home and they would be in their home. But tonight's topic isn't as much about using Zoom or Skype or any of the webinar platforms. It's just about the practicalities of running an Amway business. Now, you all know that we used to go to the open plan on a weeknight and we would get dressed and we'd go off there and we would sit there and we would see the plan and then obviously we would go home and have some coffee or whatever it was that we did. And the Amway business has always been built around meetings and the home meeting. And because home meetings are an integral part to the Amway business, it's important that we get used to actually putting together meetings for our own teams and for our prospects and so forth. There's a lovely old saying that says prior preparation prevents poor performance. And if you think of an Amway meeting, whatever you're going to call it, whether it's a product promotion or a plan, it's an event. And we know that events can be managed. You can create events, you can put them together, and the event management process is really simple as long as you've got a checklist. If you've got a checklist, you can put an event together, and it's simple. So using the alliteration of prior preparation prevents poor performance and all the P's that are there, I've just continued that theme, and I've got a couple of very simple elements that I want to touch on. The first one is having a purpose. And if you have a purpose, have a specific reason as to why you're going to put a meeting together, then it's going to help you, drive you, focus you, keep you on track, and so forth. And having a purpose means that you're going to demonstrate your passion for the business and or your own passion for your future and your goals and so forth. So that's the first thing. The second one under having a purpose is the possibility, because you never know what's going to come out of it. It is that intangible in the initial stages. So when I put a webinar together for my own company or a new product that I'm maybe developing or launching, I don't know what's going to come out of it. But I have sufficient faith to know that something will come out of it, whether it's now or later. So the essence is now I'm passionate about it and I see the possibilities. So once again, with the Amway business, it's exactly that. Then there is a preparatory process where you have to get your act together, and that preparation takes the form of writing out a little program. I'm going to be doing this, that, and that. Having a duration, having a time frame, knowing exactly what you're going to need in terms of who's going to do what, especially if you're a team, maybe you're a husband and wife team or someone that has a partner in their life, and having a team, whether partner or an Amway team member in the situation that's going to help you with this entire process. I think that's critical. Now, that preparation will then also take into account that you need a venue, you need a place, you need somewhere that you're going to meet. And for some people, it's awkward because the place might be too small or too far or whatever. Maybe there are too many kids around or whatever. The point is that you need a venue. Now, I'm definitely not going to encourage you to go out and rent venues. We've done that, been there, done that, got those T-shirts and tattoos. We don't believe in that. There are people that will give you a venue for nothing. So if you're having a home meeting, but the home meeting is not necessarily in your home, you could do it in halls and clubs and institutes. You could do it in restaurants. You could do it at the local library. You can have a home meeting, if you like, in the foyer of a hotel or upstairs in the lounge of a hotel, all for free. All for free. You don't have to pay for it. Maybe you're just going to buy a cup of coffee or tea. And in one instance, we had which the clients or the people that came to the meeting actually paid for. We didn't even pay for the room. And all we'll end up is paying for our own breakfast, which is absolutely fantastic. So that little bit of preparation, you can get into the swing of things. And we are saying focus on free. I want to just share a statement that a man by the name of Peter Sage shared with us some years ago. Penny and I went along to a seminar, and Peter was speaking, and he said the following, and I'll never ever forget it, and I believe that it is critical. He said the following. He says, you do not need more money. You need a better strategy. You do not need more money. And I thought about that. And he talks about trade exchanges. He talks about dealing with people, and you say, I'll give you this, you give me that. So that you get clever about it, and you can Google him. He's a really amazing motivational speaker and a coach and a guide. But that statement, you do not need more money. Just think it through so that you can put it together in such a way that it costs you very, very little. Then the next phase is that you're going to have to promote it. And because you're putting an event together, you've got a function, you're going to have to promote it as if you were selling tickets. Now, we're not going to be selling tickets because we're going to be inviting people into our lounge or to the restaurant or wherever it is that we're going to be doing. And that promotion of the event, you can do using social media, you can use any of the electronic mechanisms, you can use anything that you have at your disposal that doesn't cost you money other than maybe a bit of airtime. So I'm not suggesting that you're going to do anything more than that. You can make flyers, you can make JPEGs, you can send them out as WhatsApps where you're going to invite people along. Now, what are you inviting them to? Well, in some organizations, they often talk about a thing called party plan. Well, you could be inviting them to a pasta party, as an example. So you tell them, we're going to be having a party at our place. We're going to be trying out the pasta and the pots and the pans. We'd like to invite you along to come and have a small meal with us, and we want to show you what we're doing with the Amway business. Maybe you can have a power drink plan or party where people come around. We've seen one or two of our ABOs doing some really phenomenal stuff. I saw a hall the other day. There must have been, 40, 50 people in this hall. And this ABO had a power drink party, an excess power drink party. Maybe for your own team, you can have a PV party where they're going to come around, and at the PV party, they're going to be trying out the products, the tea and the coffee and the pasta and whatever, or the excess energy drink. And you have this theme, because if you have a theme, you have a reason, then people are attracted to that. You don't just say, come to a meeting, because that's boring. Come to an Amway meeting. That's boring. But if you're going to come to a pasta party, you're going to actually enjoy it, and afterwards you're going to have a party. Now, in the promotion of it, you have to have a purpose or a reason for them coming to the party, not just a matter of come to the party because you like me and my family. You come to the party so you can learn, we can teach you, we can share with you. So in your program, you're going to have an element of learning. You could have prizes, as we saw with this one ABO. He's got prizes. They do even a games evening. You could say that we're deliberately driving for points, and we're going to be showing one specific product which we'd love you to know more about, blah, 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 and that could be your PV drive for the evening. Okay, the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to have these people that are going to come along, and you would have prepared your home, your party, or your venue, and they're going to come along and they need to be made comfortable, settle down, take it easy within the meeting. You know some of the rules about phones and pets and all that type of stuff. You know about sort of locking away the dog so he doesn't come out and wander around in the hall, or like at Omar's place where they had a little kitten and everybody was engaged with this beautiful little kitten. And this kitten landed up sitting under the TV set and everybody watched the kitten instead of watching Omar, which was quite interesting. We thoroughly enjoyed that. So now you've got this meeting, it's starting to happen, you've got a bit of seating as you know how to do that. And then you need some props. You actually need some things that you can show people. And whether those props are physical, tangible, or they're going to be videos or something like that, you've got some stuff happening and you can show them something. So if we were talking about the switch share duplicate thing, you'd have the app, you'd have it on your phone, you'd show it to them, you would have sheets of paper that are pre-prepared with the how to get onto and go to Amway, Russia and Europe, and a password in the meantime, so you can show them that with the props. Following on that, you obviously want to talk to them about business. So there's the product side, which is something that you can regard as the brands, or the product, which is the business opportunity. So you do need to have some mechanism that you can actually show people. So we, as you know, we've got this plan, very, very simple, very simple. In fact, the Upline Founders Crown Ambassador from Asia, Mr. Fu, was saying that it should be no more than 20 minutes. And he was also saying that you then have a plan which you show to the people so that it stimulates interest and discussion, not teaches them this plan. But having the tools for the plan is important. And then once you've got an opportunity, you show this plan as quickly as possible so you can hook it up to the reason they're there, the products that you're going to be showing them, and then what they can get out of this business. Now, that could then go hand in hand with the presentation of maybe a video or a talk around a specific product. Now, the joy of this Zoom thing is that you can actually share hosts. I could, for instance, make Geraldine, hi Geraldine, I could make Geraldine a host. And she could then have an input, and she's sitting in Belleville, and we're sitting in Mauritius. And Geraldine, as a subject matter specialist, as an example, could then literally communicate with the people from there. And you know that there are subject matter specialists that would be able to do that. Alternatively, you can actually do the entire thing on your phone, and you could take your Zoom meeting into the kitchen where you prepare some food. As long as you've got a Wi-Fi signal, you can do this little thing, you can show them how it works. I could theoretically pick up this laptop and walk straight into the kitchen and show you my e-spring and some of the knives that we've taken, that we brought with us over here. So just making it fun and lighthearted and not being too heavy. I think there needs to be lots and lots of laughter around a meeting of this nature. People need to be able to socialize, that they walk away going, gosh, that was actually interesting and it was fun. And especially if you have a little bit of something to snack on, that's from the Amway shop. So teas and coffees and pasta, any of the other things that you want people to snack on, have them there. Be careful that you're not spending a lot of money on demo product and that product is being squandered. It's nice to give away cans of excess, but it is an expensive exercise. But tea, for instance, is just, it's so cheap. Okay, so I'll leave you with one last little thought around the product. One of our downline and I went into Khayelitsha, I think it was into Site B, a year or 2 or 3 ago. It was some time ago, and you guys might have heard the story. And we were in a creche, and we were talking to a group of mothers, and we were talking about the tea and the tea bags and what they can do with the tea bags, and the fact that they can have them at umgalelos and burial society and church and places like that. And I then asked this lady for a pot, and she brought me a 6-cup pot. It was quite a big teapot. And we took one tea bag, put it in there, put the boiling water in it, and they had a one of those, what do you call those little stoves, with the grids? No, not a private stove, electric one, but it's got that circular thing, that one of those. And we let this tea boil away for probably, 5-10 minutes. Then we took 6 polystyrene cups, lined them up, put in a bit of milk into each of them, and literally went from cup to cup to cup to cup. And from one tea bag, we got 6 strong cups of tea. Now, that just defies anything that any person who goes and buys product, it just defies their beliefs. And it rocks them when they suddenly realize, good grief, for one, we're buying the wrong tea. Secondly, we can really make these tea bags last if we use it properly. Okay, so there's just another simple example. There are lots and lots of other product demonstrations. But what people want is they want proof. They want proof of evidence. Now, essentially, this mechanism that we've got here, or a lounge, it's a place where you can prove it. You can show it, you can demonstrate it. So you need to be good and have all your props and bits and pieces together, almost, I'm going to use this term, almost like a little magic show that you're going to be showing them all the bits and pieces. And then they walk away with this belief of, A, this product is phenomenal, and B, it is very efficient in terms of costing, because you can get 4 to 6 cups of tea from one tea bag. And then you could maybe give them a tea bag and say, go and do this for your family and friends, because you want people to actually get into the cycle of doing it themselves. And that's where this prior preparation is so important. If you prepare and you are the specialist in putting a function like this together, you can teach people how to do it. Okay, then of course people are going to say, what about the price? Now, pricing is a very important thing, and I know when we talk in terms of pricing, it's sometimes awkward to talk about pricing. An e-spring is not an inexpensive item. So you do need to have your facts and figures together, and you do also need to be able to explain, but you're not just paying for the e-spring or whatever the product is, you're paying 5,000 liters of water. And that 5,000 liters of water is going to be dealt with over a period of a year, which essentially means e-spring price at either retail or ABO price, divided by the amount of liters you're going to get it from it, divided by half liters, because most of us drink bottled water in half liters. So that's 10,000 bottles of water for a given price. And they will sit there and go, wow, 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 wow. And of course, now they can go home. If you've collected some plastic bottles, they go home with bottles of water or product or things like that. So this pricing thing is important. I never feel embarrassed to take money from people nowadays. So if I'm about to sell something to somebody, I literally say it is so much, and then I stick my hand out and I wait for them to put the money in my hand. And that sales process where you become comfortable with money in your hand, exchanging money, having small change, works very nicely if you've got a price list and you actually have a little cash box there, and people see this is a transactional process. This isn't me just giving away product. Excuse me. The last thing that you want to maybe do there is you want to have some sort of documentation that you can prove to people when they go away that the purchase has been taken place. Now, Amway has that receipt book with the guarantees and things of that nature. So now you've got your party together, you've done the plan, you've spoken about that a little bit, kept it nice and short and brief, you've shown them some product, and now it's time to party. And what I mean by party, some of you may want to, in fact, have a glass of wine or two, but what I'm saying is this is time for social. It's almost let's relax now. Let them just meet us, we can interact with them, they with us, and then the party is going to sort of start growing, especially if there's a little bit of something to eat, and the discussion takes place and the bonding starts taking place. And I think that that's one of the major elements that all of us get out of Amway, is the fact that there is a family element, there's a social element to the business, which is thoroughly enjoyable. And that's why we've got people in the business who we would regard as Amway groupies. They come because it's fun. They come because it's interesting. They come because it's nice people. They come because the whole motivational vibe, and it's kind of like a good place to be with good people who have goals and dreams and aspirations. And it's at that stage where you can do a draw, or you can have a little prize or a something, or a game that you can play. Now here in Mauritius, Nathan's with us at the moment, and he's got some unbelievable card tricks. And he plays these card tricks and fascinates everybody with them. And of course, it's just a trick. It's just a game that he's played. But it is lovely, and people are entertained, and then a little bit of music. And then at the given time, you wrap it up. You say to the people, guys, thank you so much. We don't want to keep you from your families and friends. It's time to go now. And you usher them out. And they literally walk away with this positive impression of either they want to be in Amway, or you've actually signed them up in Amway there and then because you've got the necessary documentations, or they will be a customer for life, or whatever it was that you set out in the beginning. I started off by saying begin with the end in mind. Sorry, I started off by saying you've got to have a purpose. And part of that purpose is I want new ABOs. I want ABOs as registered customers. I want ABOs who are going to build a business with me. I want people who will come along and walk away from us saying, these Amway guys are actually, they're fine, they're great. I want them to walk away not feeling in any way deceived and not feeling as though we've conned them to come to a meeting. I had a story I was going to tell you a bit earlier, but I may as well tell you now. We had a couple in our business who we've been telling them, be transparent, talk to the people about Amway, talk to them about Nutrilite, talk to them about the products, talk to them about the people and the fun and the excitement and the personal growth, and just be open. And she probably had a dozen or so guests that she'd invited surreptitiously come to a pasta evening, not letting them know what it was all about. At that meeting, at this home meeting that they put together, they had almost blanket rejection with people literally walking out. And they go, but this is Amway. And she lost faith in the business. She lost faith in herself. She was literally never to be seen again trying a meeting. And we'd warned her. We'd said, don't do it. Don't listen to the CDs that say use the what do you call that approach? The curiosity approach. And she lost it. The other thing was that she didn't do it with any of us there. We had invited her, said, tell us when you're going to be there. No, she's good. She can handle it. And we lost them, and they lost out on the opportunity. And it's so sad. It's so sad because they didn't follow the basic common sense rules of business. Okay, so now we've got this business structure together, and it's probably on a scale of 1 to 10, going to be a 4. That's honest. Some people arrived, some people didn't arrive. You did follow the program, you didn't follow the program. Some people were nice to you, other people fell asleep. The dog escaped and came and sat on the couch. All kinds of things happen. But I do remember what the guy that signed us up in the business said to us. He says that you never have a no-show because you showed. And that no-show, if you like, or maybe not such a positive experience or result, is a learning curve. It's part of failing forward. It's part of getting to know what works and doesn't work, and it's part of the discipline. It's part of the motivation. It's part of the fact that you're just going to get good at this. Then your downline starts seeing you do this. And once again, this is another thing that you need to do, is you need to bring your downline into the meeting. Because when Penny and I have meetings at home, and it's just new people, nobody else, none of you guys see what we're doing at home. You don't see us actually showing plans. And sometimes that's because who knows why, time or stuff like that. But bring in people in your group so that they can see what you're doing. And then you say, we'd like to do this in your home. And you start rolling it on. So from your own place, you say, who would like a meeting in their home? You help them, you set it up, you work with them so that they know how to do it. You do it once or twice with them. They start getting results. You can obviously see the results around you, because you could go from 1 to 100 meetings per month, just as people are duplicating what you're duplicating. And that's part of the principle in the Amway business. The sooner you can teach them to do it, the better it is for you. Because essentially it is your business, and you do want to go wide, and you can't keep on sitting in the same group or the same meeting all the time. It is important for you to get out there and to get into other people's lounges. Now, I want to finish off just by saying this, that this device that we've got here, I'm using my hands a lot, probably way too much, but this device over here is a brilliant meeting platform. Penny sent out the how-to with Zoom, and it's free. As long as you've got Wi-Fi, you can play with it, you can try it out, you and your partner can Zoom with each other, and you can just get used to what to click, where to click, and all of those sorts of things. You can get used to how to use the screen. You can do the share screen, and that's what I did a couple of minutes ago, where I showed everybody what the screen looked like. And stop the share screen. The record button, because some people may or may not be able to make it to the meeting. Whatever purpose that you set out for, you can achieve, and we've got the tools. So I'm going to stop the recording right now. I trust this is you, and I'm going to just go back and we'll just chat. We've got a couple of minutes, we can chat briefly. Penny just said to me, please check the dates of the functions that are coming up. She sent out an email yesterday or the day before with all the dates of the activities that are going to be happening. You probably heard about the fact that we're coming back to Mauritius next year, and the qualification is 8 months at 21%, or 8 months as a silver producer, platinum. And guys, we just want to encourage you to come. It's not all that difficult. If you think the amount of time, effort, money, hours you're spending on your career at the moment, if you think of the time that you spend in the car, the time that you spend sleeping, watching TV, if you think of the time that you spend, which is not terribly productive, because it's not going to give you a recurring income. Here we have a business model that is going to give us a recurring income. And we're getting it, we can see it, and you guys can see that we're getting it. And we really would like you to be part of this. More importantly, it's not that we want the pin, but we want to see people succeeding. Greg, you know me personally. I don't like the fact that people are just moaning and groaning and whinging and whining about life. I want to give them tools. I'm not going to do it for them, but I'll happily give them tools so that they can move to the next level. And that's exactly what we're going to suggest that you guys do. So, recording, I want to say to everybody that is out there, I've got a couple of people, I see they've come on as well. So I'm going to take this recording, we'll put it onto YouTube, so if you want to watch it a couple of times, or you want to share the message from YouTube with your downline, please do so. So let me find the recording button. Thank you. And I'm posting all the way from Mauritius back to South Africa, and look forward to chatting to you next week.